Hey RWBY fans and theorists, it's JBlade2000 again. I'm sorry about this video coming out late. I live in the country and I have a summer job in town, and so I got to go home for a few days, but I forgot my tripod, so I couldn't really film. But the hype train has left the station. Rooster Teeth revealed both Winter Schnee and Crow Rose concept art, and I'm just gonna call him Crow Rose until we find out who his identity really is. And they have shown us the voice actors that will be voicing them. Winter has some voice actress from Ghost in the Shell. I haven't seen it, so and Crow is going to be voiced by Edward Elric. Freaking Edward Elric! If Rooster Teeth does not do an FMA reference in RWBY, I'm going to be sorely disappointed. Either Crow having some kind of like metal arm, or a scene of Crow drinking milk, or something. It just needs to happen now. There is no way Rooster Teeth cannot afford to miss an opportunity like this. So, you guys see the picture, you guys read the title, you know what the theory is going to be about Winter Schnee. Now, there has been a kind of chess theme to RWBY, some chess symbolism in the RWBY episodes. Ozpin sent out chess pieces as relics for this year's Beacon initiation into the school. And also, when Cinder went into the communications tower, after she had planted that bug or virus or whatever it is, a chess piece symbol kind of flashed up on the screens. And finally, last but not least, Crow sent Ozpin the message, "Queen has pawns." And so it is a very definite possibility that whatever the villains of Team RWBY, whatever the main antagonists of Team RWBY are, they will be some kind of chess-themed team, or a chess-themed villain. Now, let's go back to Crow's message, "Queen has pawns." Who do we know in the RWBY universe that acts like a queen or royalty? Well, Schnee, of course. She can act very much like a spoiled princess, but she also has the dignity and elegance of a royal, of a queen or princess, if you will. And her fighting style has a bunch of flourishes and things. And so Weiss is very regal in that sense. And so is Winter. If you look at her concept art, she looks very regal, very elegant, that sort of thing, going along with Weiss, because, you know, Winter is her older sister. And so they're both very elegant and regal because they're the Schnee family. And so, if Weiss is the Ice Queen, then there's the propensity for Winter to be the White Queen of the chessboard of RWBY. Now, on a chessboard, there are two colors, black and white. And the queen piece is the most powerful piece in the game. It can move around wherever it wants. And so, Winter Schnee might be one of the most powerful people in RWBY because she is based off of, or is taking the place of a queen piece, of the white queen piece of the chessboard. Now, Jake the One-Man Band has theorized that Winter is stationed in Atlas and is Ironwood's protege or assistant, much like Glinda is what Glinda is to Ozpin. And I really like that theory. So let's kind of go off of that a little bit. Atlas, as we know, is a very technological, advanced, very martial kingdom. It prides itself on its military. It makes advancements for the military. And what do we know about Ironwood? He is a general, and he is a school teacher. He has great faith in military prowess. However you pronounce that word. I mean, this is the guy who brought a fleet of airships during a time of peace to another school, and who unveiled robots to take the place of huntresses and huntsmen. And so, Ironwood takes great stock in that military aspect. He believes that he can solve the world's problems by throwing an army at it. Now, my theory is that Winter Schnee, when she was very young, came to Atlas and trained under Ironwood, and eventually made it up to Ironwood's assistant. Now, young people are essentially like a sponge, and they take in whatever they can find. And if you're going to a new kingdom, continent, country, state, whatever, you're going to really just take in everything. I know we went to Arizona one time to the Grand Canyon, and it was just amazing. You take in everything that state or country has to offer, or at least you try to. And so Winter grasped a hold of Ironwood's ideals and Ironwood's faith in that military. And so now she has that same level of faith in the military. She thinks that you can solve the world's problems by having martial force behind it. There we go. And let's take another look at Cinder's design. She looks very prim, very proper. She seems to be the kind of person that would have OCD, that wants everything in its place. And what does war bring? War brings chaos, war brings death, war brings uncertainty. And those things are the exact opposite of how Winter likes her world. And Winter feels that she can solve the world's problems, solve wars by an army. And so, what better way to keep the peace... There we go. What better way to keep the peace than to have a giant army spanning 4 kingdoms? So, what evidence do we have for this? Well, what did Torchwick and the White Fang steal? They stole a bunch of dust. As we know, dust is energy propellant, which means machinery can run on it, and dust can be used for ammo. If you're having an army, you would need energy, and you would need ammo. Dust is both. You have those giant mechs that Torchwick did say came from the Schnee Dust Company. And Winter would have those connections. And so you have these big old mech suits that are for ground troops that can just wipe out everything. And I'm assuming they run on dust, and so you already have the dust that your henchmen stole for those mech suits. Also, you're going to need a hub of communication if you have a giant army throughout 4 kingdoms. You would need a place where communications can flow. And so, you would need to take control of some kind of, oh, it shut off, there we go, of some kind of communications tower. So, what Cinder might have put on there is some kind of device that lets Winter listen in to all those communications. And finally, the train cars that explode and create those holes in the underground city. If you have a giant army, you're not going to need a barracks. You're going to need a place for them to live. So, why not have a big underground city? And so, they weren't trying to necessarily release Grimm into the city. They were trying to blow holes for, like, pathways and things through the city. And so, Winter very well might be the leader of the Chaos Syndicate, the main villain of RWBY, because in her mind, a military spanning the 4 countries with her in charge is a way to keep the peace that has been going on for those few years or months that it has, for her to instate coups in those kingdoms and take over those dictatorships herself with military power. So, that's the theory. And even though I think that Winter's side of the board might be the white chess pieces, I'm not quite sure who the black chess pieces are, like RWBY and the good guys and stuff. But RWBY and her friends might have to watch out for the Black King, the headmaster of Beacon, that they do not become pawns in his game. Are they heroes keeping peace, or are they weapons pointed at the enemy so someone else can claim a victory?